This is my story.
Hello everyone, my name is Vito Alfano and I'm the founder of the House of Hair in Brampton. I can't tell you how many times clients, friends, family ask me, how did you build a successful business with barely nothing? I'll tell you, it was far from easy. It was in August of 1994. I was just married, had a house and mortgage, and the little savings I had, I put it together and I opened the House of Hair. Now, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Since it was a new business, I took on 4 newly graduated hairstylists right out of school so they can gain experience and I can start my business. Now, what happened wasn't easy. Weeks started going by and barely anybody was coming in. The hairstylists, I could hear them from a distance saying to each other, this place is so slow, it's a dive, it's gonna close soon. That was extremely discouraging to me. There was times I was thinking, why am I doing this? Now, because I'm a persistent person, I wanted to succeed. At night I couldn't sleep. I'd be watching TV all hours of the night. One night, what I saw on TV, on the news, changed my life forever. It was around 3 o'clock in the morning and I was watching the news and I saw protesters walking back and forth with signs and talking loud and showing people that were driving by the message that they wanted to communicate. And at that moment, a light went on in my head. The next morning, without any sleep, got in my car and went straight to the original guys that built my signs before I opened. And I asked them, can you build me a big billboard sign that I can hold up and advertise my business? Now, they thought I was crazy. I had just opened my business. They had did my signs already. And they were asking, what do you mean? I told them, make me a sign that I can hold up as big as possible. We decided to go with a sign that was 8 feet in height, 5 feet in width, and I needed a stick in the back to hold it up. So with the stick in the back, the sign went up to almost 11 feet in height. What do you want on it? I said, put House of Hair at the top, right underneath men's professional haircut, and underneath that in humongous size, $8. Why did I choose men's haircuts? Men can be spontaneous at times, where they just forget that they need a haircut, they see a sign, and they go for their haircut. So I picked up the sign. I'm located at 239 Queen Street East, which is a busy intersection in Brampton. So what I started to do, I'd hold the sign on the sidewalk right next to Queen Street and face my sign westbound on Queen, so the oncoming traffic would see the sign, and then when the light would turn red, I would turn around and face it eastbound so those cars could see the sign. Whenever I see a car drive into the plaza and stop in front of my salon, I put the sign under my car, run in, and cut their hair. And I continued to do that over and over. And I started seeing clients were starting to come in. It was working. It was a good feeling. Now, I did it for about 2.5 months, and then a gentleman approached me that had just lost his job and said, can I do that job? And I said, listen, I said, you can, but I can't compensate you by a lot because I just started my business. We came up with an agreement and he started doing it. So I was able to stay in the salon and run my business. To my surprise, business started growing. It grew big enough that I was able to finally hire my first professional hairstylist. What a feeling that was. And things started to go extremely well. Even the sign holders had friends that came and joined the board, so we were able to have even more sign holders. This is my story. Why am I sharing it to you? There's a lot of young people out there that feel trapped, feel depressed, feel that there's no future. What I can tell you is this: I felt the same way. What you need to do is have something that you have a passion for and drive and work hard. If you work hard, you'll see that you will succeed. This was my story. It was not easy, but what I had was persistence and determination. Now, to finish this, I would like to say, if there's anybody out there that has a great success story that they want to share, please reach out to me, and I would be happy to share this with the young generation. Thank you for listening to me.